Welcome back to our channel, Rare Coins All World, Coin Enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into an extraordinary find from the past that has caught the attention of coin collectors and treasure hunters everywhere, the United States of America 1966 1-cent coin. At first glance, this may seem like just another penny from the 1960s, but there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Stick with us as we explore its fascinating history, design, and of course, the incredible value it can hold today. By the end of the video, you'll understand why this seemingly humble penny could be worth more than you ever imagined. Let's start by talking about the 1966 1-cent coin's place in history. The 1960s were an era of major change for the United States. While the world was experiencing political unrest, technological advancements, and a cultural revolution, the U.S. Mint was hard at work producing coins for everyday use. In fact, 1966 was a pivotal year for the penny, as it marked a significant shift in the country's coinage. The United States had been dealing with a coin shortage, and the Mint was looking for ways to combat the rising costs of metal production. This led to a number of changes in coin composition, and the 1966 penny was one of the last coins to be minted with a significant amount of copper, a valuable metal that made these pennies particularly interesting to collectors. But what makes the 1966 1-cent coin stand out among the thousands of pennies minted that year? Well, it's the perfect storm of factors: composition, design, and rarity. The 1966 penny was made primarily of copper, and it's one of the last to feature the pre-1982 composition that collectors love. Coins minted after this year were made with a significantly lower percentage of copper, replacing it with cheaper materials like zinc. Because of this, the 1966 1-cent coin holds a special place in the hearts of those who seek out older pennies for their value and historical significance. The coin features the iconic design by Victor David Brenner, which has become a symbol of American currency. On the obverse side, you'll find a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, one of the most beloved figures in U.S. history. Above his portrait are the words, "In God We Trust," with "Liberty" and the year 1966 engraved as well. On the reverse side, you'll see the classic design of the Lincoln Memorial, which was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This beautiful design, with its intricate columns and detailed engraving, is part of what makes the 1966 penny so charming. But let's get to the part you've been waiting for: just how much can this penny be worth today? While most 1966 pennies are worth only a few cents, there are certain conditions that can dramatically increase the value of this coin. As with any collectible, the key to a penny's worth lies in its condition. A coin in mint condition, free from wear and tear, can fetch much more than one that's been heavily circulated. However, the real value in the 1966 1-cent coin lies in its rarity. You see, many of the 1966 pennies that were struck are just standard examples. However, there are certain unique characteristics that can make a 1966 penny even more desirable. A rare error known as the double die variety exists for this year's coin. This error occurs when the die that strikes the coin is misaligned, resulting in a double image of the design. The double die variety can be found in both the obverse and reverse sides of the coin, making these coins a major find for collectors. These pennies can sell for significantly more than their counterparts that were minted without errors. Additionally, certain 1966 pennies were produced with an unusual minting process. These coins were struck with a very high level of precision, creating a sharper, more defined image than typical pennies. These coins, known as high-relief examples, are rare and highly sought after in the numismatic world. But just how valuable can a 1966 1-cent coin really get? The price can vary significantly depending on the condition of the coin and any unique features it may possess. Coins that have been well preserved or feature minting errors have been known to sell for impressive amounts, and some have even reached astronomical values at auctions and private sales. In fact, a 1966 penny in pristine condition, especially one with a double die error or high relief features, can sell for as much as $130,000. That's right, $130,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe, isn't it? But this just goes to show how the world of coin collecting can lead to incredible discoveries. A coin that many people would overlook could be hiding a small fortune if it's rare enough or in the right condition. So, what's the takeaway here? If you happen to have a 1966 1-cent coin in your collection or even buried away in an old jar of change, it might be time to take a closer look. Check its condition carefully, and if you see any signs of the double die variety or high relief characteristics, you might just have a collector's dream on your hands. Today, we're going to explore a fascinating gem from the United States Mint, a coin that you might not expect to be worth much, but could actually hold significant value in the world of numismatics. That's right, we're talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1970. At first glance, it may look like just another penny from the 1970s, but trust me, there's much more to this coin than meets the eye. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this humble penny could be worth a lot more than you thought. The year 1970 was a significant one in American history. The country was in the midst of the Vietnam War, and there were numerous political and social changes taking place. In the world of coinage, the United States Mint was continuing its tradition of producing coins that reflected the changing times. The 1971-cent coin was no exception, but it's the story behind this penny that really makes it stand out. First, let's talk about the design of the 1970 penny. It features the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, which has been a symbol of American currency since 1909. The obverse of the coin displays Lincoln's profile, with the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," along with the year 1970. This design, created by Victor David Brenner, is instantly recognizable to anyone familiar with U.S. coins. On the reverse side of the coin, we see the familiar image of the Lincoln Memorial. This design, which was first introduced in 1959, commemorates the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and serves as a tribute to his legacy. The reverse also includes the words "United States of America" and "E pluribus unum," along with the coin's denomination, 1 cent. Now, here's where things get interesting. While most of the 1971-cent coins are relatively common and don't hold much value beyond their face value, there are certain factors that can make this coin much more valuable. One of the main reasons the 1970 penny is so coveted by collectors is its rarity, particularly when it comes to coins minted with certain features or errors. In 1970, the United States Mint produced a large number of pennies, but due to high demand and heavy circulation, most of these coins were worn down over time. A significant number of them have scratches, dings, and other signs of use, making them less desirable to collectors. However, the real treasure lies in the rare, well-preserved specimens that have survived the years in pristine condition. The most sought-after 1970 pennies are those that were minted with unique characteristics. One of the rarest varieties is the 1970 small date penny, which was struck at the San Francisco Mint. This coin features a slightly smaller date compared to the regular 1970 penny, and it's one of the most valuable coins in the 1970 series. It's believed that only a limited number of these small date pennies were produced, making them highly desirable for collectors. Another feature that can make a 1970 penny particularly valuable is the double die error. This error occurs when the coin's design is struck twice, resulting in a doubled image on the coin. While double die errors are more commonly found on other coins, a double die error on a 1970 penny is considered quite rare and can greatly increase the value of the coin. If you happen to have a 1970 penny with either the small date variety or a double die error, you might just have a coin that could fetch a substantial amount of money at auction or among collectors. But how much are these rare pennies really worth? Well, let's break it down. In general, a standard 1970 penny in good condition will only be worth its face value, just 1 cent. However, as the rarity and condition improve, so does the value. A well-preserved 1970 small date penny can be worth hundreds, and in some cases, even thousands of dollars, depending on its grade and condition. But here's the real kicker: if you're lucky enough to have a 1970 penny in exceptional condition, or better yet, one with the coveted small date variety or a double die error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. In fact, the value of a 1970 penny in top condition, especially one with these rare features, can easily reach $110,000, yes, that's right, $110,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that such a small and seemingly insignificant coin could be worth so much. The world of coin collecting is filled with surprising treasures like this, where a rare find can lead to an unexpected fortune. So, what should you do if you think you've got a 1970 penny that might be worth something special? Start by examining the coin closely. Look for any signs of the small date variety or any potential minting errors. If the coin is in excellent condition with no visible wear, it could be a valuable collector's item. Consider getting the coin professionally graded by a reputable numismatic organization, as this will help establish its true value and ensure that you're getting the best price possible if you decide to sell. Today, we're diving into a penny that may seem ordinary at first glance, but could be worth far more than its face value. That's right, we're talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1963. While it may just look like another vintage penny from the early 60s, this particular coin has caught the attention of collectors for its potential value. If you're holding on to a 1963 penny, you'll want to hear what makes it so special, and what it could be worth today. Trust me, this small coin could have a big payoff. Let's start by taking a quick trip back to 1963. The world was in the midst of the early 60s, a time marked by significant social and political change. The United States was in the midst of the Civil Rights Movement. President John F. Kennedy had just been assassinated in late 1963, and the country was also embroiled in the space race with the Soviet Union. For collectors, 1963 marked a moment when the U.S. Mint was producing coins that reflected the era, coins like the 1963 1 cent, which would later become valuable to numismatists. Now, let's take a closer look at the design of the 1963 penny. The obverse features the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which has graced the U.S. 1-cent coin since 1909. This design was created by artist Victor David Brenner, and it includes the words, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," alongside the year of minting, 1963. This simple yet elegant design is still beloved by coin collectors and symbolizes the strength and values of the United States. Flipping the coin over, we see the reverse design, the familiar image of the Lincoln Memorial, which was first introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The words, "United States of America" and "E pluribus unum" surround the memorial, with the denomination 1 cent at the bottom. This side of the coin celebrates both Lincoln's legacy and the importance of unity in America. So, why is the 1963 1-cent coin so special to collectors? While this penny isn't particularly rare when it comes to production numbers, since millions of them were minted that year, there are certain factors that make it more valuable than others. One of the main reasons the 1963 penny holds appeal to collectors is its condition. Most of the pennies minted in 1963 were heavily circulated, which means they've been worn down over time and may show signs of damage. But those rare specimens that survived in excellent condition are highly sought after. The key to determining the value of a 1963 penny lies in its grade, or how well it's been preserved. If the coin is in uncirculated or near perfect condition, it will command a higher price among collectors. Uncirculated 1963 pennies, especially those in mint condition, can fetch a decent amount of money. However, the real excitement comes when you factor in certain unique characteristics or errors that can dramatically increase the value of the coin. One of the most notable features that can elevate the worth of a 1963 penny is a die crack or other minting errors. Die cracks occur when the coin is struck by a die that has been damaged or worn. This results in distinctive cracks on the coin's surface, which can make the coin stand out to collectors who are looking for unique varieties. While die cracks are common in many coins, they can add a considerable amount to a coin's value if they're particularly pronounced or rare. Another reason why the 1963 penny might be more valuable than you'd expect is its rarity in certain grades. While millions of these pennies were produced, only a fraction of them were kept in pristine condition or were well preserved over the years. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Coins that are graded as MS65 or higher, meaning they are nearly flawless, can demand significant premiums, especially if they have been well cared for and stored in the right conditions. But how much are you looking at, exactly, if you happen to have a 1963 penny that's in pristine condition? Well, the value can vary depending on the specific features and condition of the coin. A regular 1963 penny in average circulated condition may only be worth a few cents. However, if you have one that has been well preserved or has unique features like a die crack or other error, the price can skyrocket. In fact, if you happen to own a high-grade, error-free 1963 penny, or perhaps one of the rare specimens that has survived in near-mint condition, it could be worth as much as $20,000. Yes, that's right, $20,000 for a single 1963 penny. This may seem hard to believe, but it's a testament to how a coin's rarity, condition, and unique features can make it highly valuable to collectors. Of course, not every 1963 penny will be worth this much. It depends on a number of factors, including its grade, the presence of any errors, and how well the coin has been preserved over the years. But for those lucky enough to find a rare, high-grade 1963 penny in their collection, this coin could be worth much more than just a cent. Today, we've got a fascinating coin to discuss, the United States 1 cent from 1978. You might think this is just another old penny, but trust me, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. If you've ever wondered about the hidden value of certain vintage coins, this one is a perfect example. Grab your magnifying glass and get ready to dive deep into the world of rare pennies, because the 1978 1 cent has an intriguing story and could be worth far more than you expect. Before we get into the real value, let's take a step back and look at the historical context of the 1978 penny. The 1970s were a transformative decade for both the United States and the world. It was a time of economic instability, as the U.S. faced rising inflation, oil crises, and political upheaval. This period was also marked by significant cultural shifts, from the disco craze to the emergence of video games. While the country was undergoing change, the U.S. Mint was still doing its job, producing coins for everyday use, including the humble penny, the 1978 1 cent coin, or as it's more commonly known, the 1978 Lincoln Penny, was minted during this period of transition. In terms of design, it was the same familiar style that had been in place since 1909, the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. These designs, created by artist Victor David Brenner, are instantly recognizable and have made the penny one of the most beloved coins in American history. On the front, we have Lincoln's portrait with the words, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," along with the mint year, 1978. On the reverse side, we see the famous Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of the nation's respect and reverence for the 16th president. The details of the design are as clean and precise as they were when they were first struck, and the classic imagery is part of what makes the 1978 penny so special to collectors. But here's where things get interesting. Although millions of 1978 pennies were minted, what set some of them apart is their condition and rarity. As with many older coins, the value of a 1978 penny largely depends on its grade, the condition in which it has been preserved over time. Coins that have been kept in excellent, uncirculated condition are far more valuable than those that have been worn down from years of use. And if you happen to have a 1978 penny in pristine, mint condition, then you could be holding on to a rare treasure. Now, let's talk about what makes a 1978 penny even more valuable. While most of these coins were mass-produced, some collectors are always on the lookout for pennies with unique characteristics, such as unusual die cracks, misstrikes, or other minting errors. A penny with an error can be worth significantly more than one without, as error coins are considered rarities in the world of numismatics. For example, a 1978 penny that has a notable die crack or a double die error can fetch a premium in the market. These errors are fascinating to collectors because they are one of a kind, making them highly sought after. If you find a 1978 penny with a rare minting flaw, you might be sitting on a small fortune. Another factor that plays a big role in the value of a 1978 penny is its mint mark. Just like other coins, pennies that were minted in different U.S. mint locations carry a mint mark to indicate where they were produced. In 1978, the most common mint marks were the D for Denver and the S for San Francisco. Coins with certain mint marks, especially those from the San Francisco Mint, may be rarer or have a slightly higher value, but what is a 1978 penny worth in today's market? Well, as I mentioned earlier, the value depends on the coin's grade and any unique characteristics it may have. A standard 1978 penny in average circulated condition might only be worth its face value of 1 cent, but if you've got one that's been preserved in near perfect or uncirculated condition, you're looking at a potential value of several dollars. The real excitement happens when we talk about rare error coins or higher grade specimens. A 1978 penny with an error, or one that has been kept in mint condition, could be worth up to $130,000. Yes, you heard that right, $130,000 for a single 1978 penny. This is the kind of coin that can take your collection from ordinary to extraordinary, so if you have one tucked away in your coin jar or collection, it might be time to dig it out and check it closely. Now, you might be asking, how do I know if my 1978 penny is worth that much? The first step is to carefully examine it for any errors or unique features. Look for things like double strikes, die cracks, or unusual wear patterns. You'll also want to check the coin's condition. Coins in excellent condition with little to no wear are far more valuable than those that have been circulated extensively. If you believe you have a rare 1978 penny or if you simply want to find out how much your coin is worth, it's a great idea to have it professionally graded by a reputable numismatic service. A professional grading service can evaluate the coin's condition, authenticity, and any errors, and assign it a grade that will help you determine its market value. Today's video is one you absolutely won't want to miss. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of the United States 1973 1-cent coin, and you might be surprised at what you could be holding in your collection. Trust me, this penny is more than just pocket change, it could be worth a small fortune. Now, let's start by setting the stage. The year 1973 was a pivotal time in U.S. history. The country was navigating through a variety of challenges, from the oil crisis to political shifts. The economy was feeling the strain of inflation, and there was a sense of change in the air. For coin collectors, however, the 1973 1-cent piece stands out as a fascinating relic from this period. The design of the 1973 penny is familiar to those who have ever owned or seen a Lincoln cent. On the obverse side, we see the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The engraving includes the words, Liberty, the year, 1973, and the phrase, In God We Trust. The reverse side features the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of the nation's respect for Lincoln's legacy, surrounded by the inscription, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. This simple yet elegant design has been a hallmark of U.S. currency for over a century, and the 1973 penny is no different. However, the true allure of this coin doesn't lie in its design but in its rarity, condition, and any special characteristics that may set it apart from the millions of others produced that year. Now, let's talk about the 1973 1-cent coin's value. You might think that since so many pennies were minted in that year, they wouldn't be worth much, right? Well, in most cases, you'd be correct. The 1973 penny is not particularly rare when it comes to the number of coins that were struck, but here's where it gets interesting. The condition of the coin and potential errors or special features make all the difference in its value. As with any collectible coin, the better its condition, the higher its value. The 1973 penny, like other pennies, was struck in copper, a metal that tarnishes and wears down easily with time. Many of these coins have been in circulation for decades, suffering the wear and tear of everyday use. The average 1973 penny, unless it's been kept in pristine condition, is generally worth only its face value of 1 cent. However, there's a significant catch: unusually well-preserved or error-struck coins are highly sought after in the collector market, and they can fetch far more than you might expect. One key factor that can dramatically increase the value of your 1973 penny is whether it has been well preserved. Coins that are considered uncirculated are in near-perfect condition, with sharp details and minimal to no wear. These coins are considered the holy grail for many collectors, and they can be worth much more than the average circulating coin. So, if you happen to have a 1973 penny that's been safely stored and remains in mint condition, it could be worth a lot more than you thought, but it's not just the overall condition of the coin that matters. Sometimes, pennies from certain years, including 1973, can have minting errors that make them even rarer and more valuable. If you happen to have a 1973 penny with an error, such as a double die, off-center strike, or some other anomaly from the minting process, you could be holding onto a unique piece that's worth much more than the average coin. These types of errors are especially popular with collectors, who see them as rare, one-of-a-kind items. Another important factor to consider is the mint mark on your coin. The 1973 pennies were minted at various locations across the United States, and these mint marks, found just under the date on the obverse side, indicate where the coin was produced. The most common mint marks for this year were the D for the Denver Mint and the S for the San Francisco Mint. Some collectors prefer coins minted at specific locations, and in rare cases, certain mint marks can fetch a premium depending on their rarity. Now that we've covered the basics of the 1973 penny's design and characteristics, you may be wondering just how much a 1973 penny could be worth. While a penny in average circulated condition may only fetch a couple of cents, things start to get really exciting when you look at the rarer, more pristine examples. If you happen to have a 1973 penny in exceptional, uncirculated condition or one with a minting error, you could be looking at a value far higher than its face value. In fact, depending on its rarity and condition, a 1973 penny could be worth as much as $1,400,000. That's right, $1,400,000 for a single 1973 penny. Imagine holding such a coin in your collection. You could be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. So, how can you tell if your 1973 penny is worth such an incredible amount? The first step is to inspect it carefully. Look for any signs of damage, wear, or unusual characteristics. If the penny looks brand new or has a unique minting error, you might have something special. You can also consider having the coin professionally graded by a numismatic expert to determine its true value. Remember, coins like the 1973 penny are not just collectibles, they're pieces of history. And, with their hidden potential for immense value, they're worth more than just a glance. If you think you've got one of these rare pennies tucked away, it might be time to take a closer look. And who knows? You might just have a piece of the past worth a small fortune. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. If you've enjoyed learning about the value of the 1973 1-cent coin, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another exciting coin discovery. Happy collecting, and keep an eye out for those hidden treasures in your collection. You never know what you might find.